Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Burning questions. It's been a little bit of a stutter start, but we're here now. Tim O'Connor has joined in for Andy Gath, and I just want to say right off the top, Andy and I get along well. He has not left burning questions. Place got flooded. He's under the pump. That's why he can't join us again. Tim O'Connor, thank you for joining in, mate.
Here, mate. I'm a little bit scratchy on the form. I haven't had a heap of time, but I've had a bit of a glance, and I feel like I've talked about this meeting for about the last 4 days straight. So we should be right, and we'll have a few winners, I reckon. Good to be on.
Michael Stanley is a wonderful trainer driver, but he's also got a side gig. He's going to go around and teach other harness participants about technology. When's that kicking off, Mick?
Yeah, it'll have to be soon because watching this show, it's been an absolute nightmare with people dropping in, trying to get their phones working, sitting in cars under power poles so they can get service in it. Like, just buy a computer and get some Wi-Fi. It's not that hard.
Well, even Andy, who's a pretty switched on cat, does not own a laptop.
Yeah, can't believe it. I cannot believe that. Anyway, hopefully one day he can get a winner big enough, which he does plenty of, that he can afford to buy one.
David Moran, wonderful to have you joining us as well, mate. You were the AirPods were synced up to something else for a little while, but you're with us now, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, Bonner. Yeah, no, it was a bit of a rusty start, but we're away.
We are away, and it's a good little segue actually, because the first question of the burning questions goes to David Moran. Will he get away in the Victoria Cup to self-fly the gate in Cup with Honolulu Bay, or will the top two dictate terms and make their rivals pay? I speak of Better Eclipse and, of course, Expensive Ego. Now, there's been a lot of conjecture during the week. We only ask for honesty on burning questions here, Sal. Just don't lie to us. If you can't tell us the truth, tell us nothing at all. But are you going to run the gate with Honolulu Bay or not?
Oh, I think we've got to, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the gate speed to our inside. There's a couple there that probably don't fly the gate, so I think we've definitely got a chance our arm, yeah.
Are you pretty confident you would get across?
Yeah, reasonably confident, yeah. I think a couple of the horses are getting out a bit better now. Expensive Ego and Better Eclipse are getting out better than what they once were, but I would imagine they would have to be pretty quick to hold him out.
Part 7 of the first burning question. If you find the front, would you be keeping it definitely, Sal?
That'll just depend on obviously I'll talk to Clayton, Emma and Bill and Ann first, but it'll depend on the pressure. He's a pretty good horse, driven off the speed. So, he's very versatile which way we go.
Geez, Mick, you better come out hard enough that you might be the first one there, brother.
Well, yeah, maybe that's the case, but bit of ducks and drakes this weekend. I've heard Emma twice on radio saying they're going back, so we'll see what happens on the night, eh? But I think that's why you need to just have your own sort of couple of plans in your head and not worry about what everyone else is doing around you, which I'm sure most people in the race will be anyway. So, look, I'm not too sure. Honolulu Bay hasn't been, driven off the gate electric for a long time. And that's probably partly, as we touched on earlier, J-Bond, that he's been in races where he's been able to be given the front, because he's been a standout class in those races. So, yeah, whether he still, in these races it's tough, because I tell you one thing, they say the mobile, and Sal will attest to this, they say the mobile is set on a speed where it always goes the same. But when you get in these Group 1 Grand Circuit races, the mobile goes a lot quicker. So you'll find that a lot of these horses, which you think aren't generally as fast out, are building up a lot of momentum chasing the mobile at a higher speed anyway. So they will get out quicker than what they normally would on Saturday night.
Well, Melton's one thing, but up in Menangle, I've seen Max Verstappen drive slower than the mobile goes at Menangle sometimes for the big races. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, that is true. So, anyway, yeah, look, I'm not too sure. Yeah, it could cross them. I'm not sold that if it burns out, it will cross them, but at its absolute fastest, yeah, of course it can.
Now, from your perspective, you're not worried about what everyone else is doing. What are you doing? Because you come out of gate 3, Supreme Dominator comes out. You got to try. Is the plan just to try and slot in somewhere?
I've been on this show 3 or 4 times, and every time it's because Rock and Roll Do's been in, and it's been the same question. And every time I've held the horses to my outside out. So I'll be trying to do the same thing on Saturday night. So, and I think one of those times was with Pat's Beach Storm when he was first up, and as Sal will know, they came out hard for 50 and they couldn't even get a neck in front, let alone half a length in front after 50. So, yeah, don't worry about my horse. He's not as slow out as what everyone thinks he is. It's I think everyone just has those queries in his head because of the couple of times he'd done something wrong.
Geez, Toc, I think that little delay it's wound Mick up. He's ready to roll. I think he's already out there. He's behind the gate. Toc.
Well, we're not racing in an MO this week, are we? So we're fair dinkum.
Toc, take some of the heat out of this for a moment. Say something.
Yeah. Well, the best thing I can offer, I think I'll be travelling down from Ballarat to Melton in the mobile on Saturday night, Mick, with my good friend Nathan Moy, who will be starting the Victoria Cup. So I'll put it to him. I'll get the exact speed for you if you like. 61, 62 Ks. Is that how's that sit for you?
I'm not too worried what the actual speed is, but just tell him I'd like it to go faster.
Okay, right. I'll sort of, you know him pretty well too, so see what you can do. Yeah, look, I can't add much more. I don't have a clue how this is going to pan out, Bon. I thought they would go forward on Honolulu Bay. I don't think they'll find the front, though. That would be my opinion. I hope they do because I've had one bet on the futures market. It was a small bet on Honolulu Bay at $10. So, look, I'm tipping him to win the race, but I just don't know if he's going to find the front. It's going to be a ripper race. I can't wait. So many different scenarios. You were talking on radio today with me about your thoughts, and you think they're quite opposed to a few others. You might as well reveal that now.
No, we'll move on from that now. But you had a futures bet on a horse at $10 that needed to draw where it is to get $6. So we'll talk a little bit about
ordinary punter.
later. Okay.
I'm a pretty ordinary punter.
Sal, let's move on to the Derby and have a chat about that. Grant Dixon, can he find the front in Derby without cost? And does it even matter knowing Captain is a boss? Now, I'm of the opinion that Captain Ravishing just wins the race regardless. But one of the things I think might play against Leap to Fame is everybody's going to kick up inside of him because they're going to want to be behind him early on.
Yeah, I guess, Grant's got that to his advantage here. He's going to be in front of Captain Ravishing, so it'll play out early how it does, and you would imagine that he'll find the front, and then from then on in, it'll be a good race. I know we may not have seen the best of Captain Ravishing yet. He might be something out of the basket, but he's certainly going to have his work cut out this week, that's for sure.
You got your doubts, Sal?
Oh no, I haven't got my doubts because like I said, he could be something very, very special. But there's times we've seen it in the past where drivers can make it mathematically impossible for the other one to win. So if that's what he does, the best horse will win.
Toc, thoughts?
Yeah, I think he'll eventually. I don't think he'll do stacks, Bond. It was, I guess, the first part of your question. I think he'll find the front relatively easy. But I agree with you. I think Captain Ravishing will win the race regardless. He's my best bet of the card, just to throw that out there right now. But I think he'll be far too good. The quickest, I think I said to you on radio today, the 5th quickest last half ever at Melton recorded was his heat performance. And I've gone through the top 10 replays. And he's the only horse to have ever done it off the pegs. The rest have all found the front and zipped home. So he is no doubt something special, and I think he'll show us that on Saturday night.
Why do I suspect you are going to have your doubts, Mick, or not? Am I wrong?
A little bit, but that's only because, like we all say, we've seen it. His exceptional speed off slow tempo. Like last week was slow tempo again. So if we see it again this week, yep, we dub him a superstar, don't we? I think that's the question that everyone has. So, and to be honest, if I'm Grant Dixon, I don't actually want to find the front too early. I think if Leap to Fame gets the front really early, I think that plays into Captain Ravishing's hands because I think on last week, if Leap to Fame's in front early, he has to roll along to try and take a bit of the sting out of Captain Ravishing. But then Captain Ravishing, if that's the case, can be just sitting back in the running line and only be using his speed for the last 600-800 again, which I think would be too fast. So if I'm Grant Dixon, I'd just be floating out and be happy to sit outside and dictate from outside the leader for as long as I can and be forcing Captain Ravishing to be making a run outside and then get running. I think if he gets running while Captain Ravishing has a sit, Captain Ravishing will be too good regardless.
Have you ever thought about being Grant Dixon, Mick, or not?
Not really.
No, I haven't.
And I won't. Grant Dixon's driven a lot more winners than me, so don't go listening to me either.
Mick, I'll go to you first. Will Relentless hold them wide from gate 1 in the Oaks? or will Just Hope / Pettionte cross her if they're coaxed? So there's going to be a bit of heat on here early, I think, in the Pride's Easy Feed Victoria Oaks final. Who finds the early lead? Who wins?
I think if Relentless Me does hold, I think they will hold the front, knowing the stable. But I think, I personally think, Just Hope is electric when Nathan lights her up, and being that wide start from the back straight start is a huge advantage. If he lights her up, I think Just Hope can get across, and then, knowing Nathan, he'll either lead or hand up. I suspect if he got across, he may take a sit this week.
What are your thoughts, Sal? What's going to happen early on? I suspected going back through the early speed that Pettionte might find the front and keep it.
Yeah, I don't know, Bonners. Obviously, Relentless Me flies the gate, 2,700, that start sort of thing makes it a bit easier for the ones out wide to be a possibility of getting across. So that's the only concern. If Nathan really does light her up, she is a possibility of crossing. But it is super quick out. Whether they can hold the front and win the final when there's a bit more heat on, I'm not 100% sure.
Top thoughts?
Yeah, I thought Relentless Me would be able to hold. I was probably of the other opinion to Mick. I thought they might hand up Bonner. Just listening to Jack Law after the race, they'll wrap to win a heat. Is she good enough to go all the way and probably cop heat? Probably not. So I thought they might take a trail. I thought just a concern for Just Hope, even though she's electric, is 3 Emma Stewart trained horses all on her inside. I got no idea here, but my each way bet in the race anyway, for what it's worth, I'm going to back Elegant each way. I thought the heat win was fantastic. It was comfortably the quickest one of the 3, and I thought it might just lob a nice spot in the running line.
All right, let's move on to the final of the burning questions. David Moran, do they come out charging out, or do they come charging out and feature trot tonight, the Bill Collins Sprint, knowing that a lighter will just relish such a fight? So all of the front row runners have similar gate speed. Will they all come out against each other? Because I think that's really going to suit Queen Elida if they do.
Yeah, I think there'll be good burn early, Bonners. There's a bit of gate speed there, and there's a few that'll want to be up there over the short. So I think there'll be a few of them that'll burn out and probably make the race for Queen Elida.
Who's the better horse out of Queen Elida and Olivici's help?
My opinion, not that means a hell of a lot. Queen Elida, I think.
I agree. Mick Stanley, what are your thoughts?
I'm not too sure. I think maybe the inside 3 might come out quickly, but the other 3, Greg Sugars, Chris Lang, and Nathan Jack, they're all very experienced, aren't they? I'm not too sure that there will be as much speed from out wide. I think they'll be happy just to take their time and get across. So knowing that coming out really fast will make it for Queen Elida. So I don't think there'll be as much speed maybe as what might be anticipated.
Righto, guys, we're giving Jabon, we're giving him 4 or 5 minutes. I've rung him twice. He's probably lost his phone again. I think we can rule a line through him. Hopefully he gets back for Vic Cup night. But I've got his list of questions here, and he gave us the 4 questions. Of course, we spoke about Queen Elida there. From my perspective, I think she'll win. But there's one that I liked at a rough price there. I thought Have Hollis Will Travel has been going super and might be able to, I don't know, who knows? If he could find the front, I reckon he might give a side at $20, $25. Let's move on to these supplementary questions, according to Bon. I might go to you, Sal. Is He's Ideal vulnerable from second row in the first race on Saturday night? Of course, won 6 of 8 for the Emma Stewart stable, but up against a nice little field here in the opener. Is he vulnerable?
Yeah, I think he is, mate. Obviously that's, unless he sort of buzzes around early and no one elects to hold him out whatsoever, well, then it probably makes it a hard race to handle them. But yeah, I think he's certainly vulnerable.
Yeah, Mick, your thoughts? He's started his career in great fashion. He's won 2 races this preparation, but everything's gone his way in those. He's vulnerable to my eye. What's your thoughts?
Well, you have to say that from way out the back there where he's drawn, but it's not a strong race. There's not a lot of depth in the race, so you may be vulnerable just because of the draw, but he also could just win with ease too, because he's probably got a fair bit of class on most of the field. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think the answer is yes to vulnerable, but is there anyone there to beat him? I mean, Valachi's second favourite, and he hasn't won for an eternity. So
I think I can.
What are you on?
Yeah, but
Okay,
you've
I'll
drawn
do.
out. You've drawn outside. He's ideal, so you might be vulnerable too.
Yeah, as long as he goes late.
Yeah, true.
Well, there's one of the supplementaries, and I've got a cat annoying me here, but I might go to you first, Mick. One of Andy Gath's runners is Pull the Other Leg, former New Zealander who's started in pretty good fashion here. Can he bounce back from that Kilmore last start failure?
Not too sure. He did win really well when he first hit our shores, no doubt. But these races are a little bit stronger. There's some good depth into this race. He had a few nice horses. So look, if he finds a front and dictates, of course he can win and bounce back. But I don't think it will be easy.
Well, your thoughts on Pull the Other Leg? He's been good when he's been able to find the front, but he hasn't sort of troubled him when he hasn't. So he's drawn barrier 3 here on Saturday night. He's every chance of finding the top. Can he bounce back?
Yeah, I'm a bit like Mick, really. It's a tricky one. He come through a couple of them lower grades quite well, and then obviously just last start failure. So yeah, I'm a little bit unsold on him just yet. There's a couple of nice horses in the race. I thought Narratac Prince was good first up. Obviously drawn out there, he's going to rely on a little bit of luck getting into the race and the speed being on too. But yeah, I'm a little bit unsure. I sort of have to watch him go around this week to make any more opinion on him.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit the same. He definitely can bounce back, but Narratac Prince beat him hands down last start at Kilmer, and I thought he could do it again. He's second up here. So Narratac Prince, despite the bad draw, is the way I'd be playing. We move on to you, Sal. Ladies in red, we had you mic'd up. I had the GoPro going on from the horse's mouth at the trials the other day, so we appreciate that. That was a great insight. Is she vulnerable in the Make Mine Cullen? She's drawn the back row, but Tough Tilly, one of our main adversaries, draws the front row, and she's also first up. What's your thoughts on Ladies in Red? Is she going to win?
Yeah, I think she will, mate. Yeah, she'll obviously take a bit out of that trial, and she'll take a little bit out of this run. But she felt quite good the other day. She was really strong up the lane. I just think with them all being first up, obviously her and Tough Tilly, I think she'll, I think she'll get the job done.
Your thoughts? She's a superstar, and but so's Tough Tilly in her own right. And Tough Tilly's got a couple of, she's got her a couple of times. Is the champ Ladies in Red vulnerable on Saturday night?
No, I don't think so. I think, Ladies in Red's got just a beautiful trailing draw at the start. Tough Tilly's got to get out of 7, so she'll have to work a little bit from 7 to find the front. If she gets the front too, like when they step up into this mare's grade, there's no guarantee that a few of them inside Tough Tilly won't want to hold her out. So yeah, Sal's got plenty of options there from where he's drawn. He can poke through and sit for a while and take off late. He can go around if there's no. So I just think it's a beautiful draw for her first up. And to be honest, the only horse I thought that may have troubled her is Treachery if it drew the front line, because she's just been absolutely flying in front and she's drawn inside the back. So I can't see any of these troubling her.
Yeah, I thought she'd win. I was probably maybe a little bit less confident than you two boys, but I think she'll win. She's a superstar, and there's going to be plenty of on-track activations. I think HRV's lashed out, and there's a fair bit of memorabilia there on track for those coming along on Saturday night. So get behind Ladies in Red. She's a superstar. I think she'll win, but I don't think she'll dominate. It's going to be a great race, the first leg of the Elizabeth Clark Mares Triple Crown. The next question might start with you, Mick. Can Harry Stamper hold the role he needs to win the home field? Of course, Harry Stamper from Joe Pace's stable, taking on the champ from the Peter Manning stable, Plymouth Chubb. It's a ripper race. Can Harry Stamper do it?
Well, depending on what holding the role means, I mean, is that saying that he needs to hold the front? Because I think from where he's drawn in 1, Plymouth Chubb is that fast out. He's going to lead Plymouth Chubb. And if Harry Stamper can hold up on Plymouth Chubb's back, he'll just win because he took a lot of ground off last time, and Kilmore's an awkward track to come from behind on. So he just has to hold his spot and make sure he keeps Plymouth Chubb's back, and he'll be fine.
Had a quick chat to Herb at the trials the other day, and after the barrier draw came out, and I think he was sort of happy. Obviously, he didn't think he could hold Plymouth Chubb, as Mick said, Sal. So he's electric, Harry Stamper, with his sprint. I'm of the opinion that he'll beat Plymouth Chubb, but I'm interested in your thoughts because I reckon he'll loom up to Plymouth Chubb at some point, and he mightn't go past because Plymouth Chubb, he certainly digs in and he's in for the fight.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think Mick's on the money there. Obviously, Plymouth Chubb will lead quite easily as long as Harry's got enough speed just to hold that position. Probably doesn't want to be busting him out too hard if he doesn't have to. So from there, I guess he sits on Kez's back, and he's a great horse, Plymouth Chubb, and it's been a great juvenile. If Kez can get an easy back straight quarter, it should make it a really good race. But Harry may just be a little bit too quick.
Yeah, nice. I'm with Harry Stamper as well. Stick with you, Sal. 2 to go in the supplementary questions. We've got a blockbuster one here. Bonds put all these together and then left us. That's the way he goes. That's the way he rolls. Is this Tango Tara's chance to win in front? Of course, Tango Tara draws barrier 3 in the Garrard's Popular Arm free for all. He's going to be hard to beat. I reckon he'll find the top. Do you reckon he can get back to winning ways, Sal?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just looking at it there, it looks like a pretty suitable race for him. There's a couple of nice horses, in the race, but he looks like he should get a pretty good easy lead. And this is his race. This is his race to win, I guess.
Yeah, Mick, your thoughts on Tango Tara bouncing back on Saturday night?
I think it's his race too. It has to be his race to win if he's going to win in this grade soon, because he hit the line really well last week, but I think he's been hitting the line super from those trailing draws. I'm not too sure that leading, and I'm not too sure if he holds the lead that he will win. This is a pretty good race. Crime Rider's been flying. He's probably going to get across into the running line cheaply. Then you have 3 Emma Stewart runners, exceptional Country Cup horses returning, and Seb's Choice, who was outstanding bar his last run in Queensland. So if they all make runs, it could be a genuinely run race. So I'm going to pot him.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't want to be the only one there, Mick. I was of the opinion that he'd find the front, but I just thought there was too many good horses on the back row for him just to get it easy. Better Be the Bomb. Look, Supreme Dominator if he doesn't run in the Vic Cup. Phoenix Prince, who trialled super against Ladies in Red there, Sal the other day. Our Millionaire Longfellow and Seb's Choice. It just seems to me that there might be a bit of pressure coming from behind. So I've got absolutely no idea who'll win the race, but I reckon he might get touched off there. And I've got a bit of a query on him in front. From memory, he's been in front and been run down a few times, or they get pretty close to him. So I'm potting me as well, Mick. Going to the very last question of 74 ahead of Vic Cup night. We might go to you, Mick. Emma's Juveniles, a class above, or can School Captain rock the boat in the boys division? I think it's race 11 on the card. It's the Alabar Vicbred Platinum Homegrown Classic for the 2-year-old fillies. No, it's for the 2-year-old Colts and Goldings, race 10. So School Captain draws 1 for Russell Jack. Can he turn the tables on the Stewart runners?
Oh, I think he can. I really like School Captain. I know Lost Storm is obviously an outstanding horse because the stable have raved about him from the start, and Perfect Classes, who Sal drives, is been exceptional also. But I know they raved about the Lost Storms last week, but School Captain took a lot of ground off him out wide. I was really taken by School Captain, the way he hit the line. So I think he can upset them.
Yeah, I do too. And he ran a quicker last quarter, as you said, Mick. I was with Darren Carroll, well-known form and pro punter there at the trials the other day, and he was ultra keen when School Captain drew barrier 1. And I saw the markets were 330 into 220, so he's got some supporters. What about you, Sal? School Captain, good enough to win from barrier 1, or one of the Stewart horses, including the Lost Storm, proved too good?
Yeah, I'm with Mick. Generally Russell's horses generally run the gate pretty good. A lot of his juveniles. I've seen him a couple of times at the trials, and then obviously last week at Bendigo. And the ground he took off when he was wide and put in a couple of little rough ones around the bend. I thought he'd be really hard to beat this week if he runs the gate, holds the front, whatever they like to do there. I don't know if the Lost Storm can sit outside him. Maybe it can. It might prove us all wrong, but I think he's a really good chance of leading and winning. Yeah,
and I mean the market's like $1.85 the Lost Storm and $2.20 the School Captain. So you'd be happier to take the better price about the horse-drawn 1, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's
just find out.
Yeah, it's obviously not a 2-horse race. I guess we've all got to remember that too. If they go to war up front, then there's other horses in the race that can come over the top of them. But I just think over the short trip, the way you run the gate, or the way you should probably run the gate, it could make it quite hard for the rest.
And there's a
Good
couple
stuff.
of things.
Sorry, Nick.
There's a couple of things on this race, as Sal touched to, that could play out. Like the Lost Storm, if School Captain does hold the front, the Lost Storm could just be sit outside him and just be way too good because of the wraps that they have on him. Because sometimes horses that show that speed, if they get eyeballed in front, can't sustain the pressure. So that's always a chance. And then, as Sal said, the Lost Storm could just blow them away from anywhere. And then if School Captain takes the trail on the Lost Storm, and then you have Perfect Class sitting outside the Lost Storm, and they cruise around and sprint up the straight, it's going to make it hard for School Captain to still run them down. So it's going to be an interesting race either way.
Yeah, no, well summed up, boys. Fantastic. So a massive show there. Now, we can't let you go without finding a couple of best bets, or at least one best bet on the card. I might go to you first, Sal. How are we making some money on Saturday night at headquarters?
Best bet. I'll have to make Ladies in Red my best.
You short, but about $1.40, $1.50.
$1.30, well
nothing for a second leg of a multi there, Sal, you can help us out with?
Well,
School Captain, maybe.
You put me on the spot. I did say to you I thought I could win the first.
Yeah, good call. What price there?
About $12.
Good stuff. I like it. The Ladies in Red's the moral, and the last chance in the first for you each way. Sal, Mick, what about you? I reckon from memory you might have tipped us Rock and Roll Do a couple of times on this show. Are you with your champ in the Vic Cup, or are you going to give us one from left field?
No, I'll go outside because the Vic Cup, it's I'd love to win it, but as Sal knows, those races are the hardest to win. So I'd be foolish to be tipping my own horse in a Victoria Cup on this platform. So I think Cypher will win the Oaks. I think it's beautifully drawn. It can, whether there's speed or not, it can just bide its time, and it can win from anywhere in Cypher. So I think it's the best bet. And I like Better Be the Bomb has actually been flying. And I thought it was stiff not to get a outside run in the Victoria Cup. So if they go silly in that race, I think he'll be one at each way value.